Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they never fight. They drift through life, obeying emotions, blaming circumstances, waiting for motivation like it's a rescue ship. It never comes. And deep down, they know it. But what if I told you strength isn't a mystery? That it's not gifted. It's trained, forged, earned. And the ancient Stoics knew exactly how to build it. Forget the modern self-help fluff. The Stoics didn't talk about finding yourself. They talked about mastering yourself. They faced exile, disease, betrayal and smiled. Not because life was easy, but because they had rules, strategies, weapons. Today, you'll learn 11 of those weapons. Not quotes to feel better. Tactics to live better. This isn't inspiration. This is confrontation. With the weak version of yourself you've tolerated for far too long. Because, whether you realize it or not, life is at war with your mind every single day. Distraction, addiction, noise, excuses, they're not accidents, they're attacks. And without a defense, you lose. So don't just watch this video. Study it like your life depends on it. Because it does. In the next few minutes, I'll take you through 11 ancient Stoic strategies. Each one is a strike against weakness. Each one is a step back into control. And by the end, you won't just be aware. You'll be armed. Let's begin. If you keep putting yourself last, don't be surprised when your life follows. You are not the bonus round. You are the foundation. And when the foundation rots, everything built on it crumbles. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but his real power came from mastering himself. He journaled every morning, not for show, but for war in a war. Because he knew, if he couldn't control his own thoughts, he couldn't control a damn thing. You've been taught to serve everyone first. To people, please. To pour into others while running on fumes. Let me ask you something. Can a starving man feed anyone? Can a fractured soul carry others? No. So stop acting like martyrdom is noble. It's not Stoic. It's stupid. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean selfishness. It means strategy. It means having the fuel to lead, to love, to fight, to rise. It starts small. Minutes in the morning, no phone, no noise, just you. Sit, breathe, plan, prepare. Not because it's trendy, because it's tactical. Write down what you actually want. Not what they expect from you. Not what the world demands. What you stand for. Then train your mind to believe it. Daily. You think affirmations are silly? Fine, stay weak. Or understand this. Repetition rewires your brain. Period. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." He didn't mean self-care Sundays. He meant daily discipline, ruthless self-respect. That includes boundaries. If someone drains you, distance yourself. If they disrespect your space, defend it. If they call it rude, let them. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be effective. When you start acting like you matter, life shifts. You stop apologizing for needing rest. You stop explaining why you say no. You stop bleeding energy into people who only take. Prioritizing yourself sends a message to the world and to your subconscious. I am not optional. I am not an afterthought. I am the damn engine. So, here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, take 10 minutes. Just for you. Not Netflix, not scrolling, not distractions. Real time, real intention, real you. Because when you start showing up for yourself, that's when everything else finally learns to take you seriously. You think appearance doesn't matter. Walk into a room with slouched shoulders, greasy hair, wrinkled clothes and watch how the world mirrors back your own neglect. This isn't about vanity. It's about signal. Stoicism teaches us to master what we can control. And your appearance? That's ground zero. Seneca didn't wear armor to feel pretty. He wore it because it said, "I'm ready." You walk out the door looking like you lost the fight before it began. Let me say this plain. Sloppiness is a declaration. It screams, "I've surrendered." You want respect? Start with self-respect, because no one treats you better than you do. This doesn't mean you need designer labels or a jawline sculpted by gods. It means discipline, clean clothes, trimmed nails, a look in your eye that says, "I showed up on purpose." You think no one notices? Wrong. Your boss notices. Your partner notices. But most importantly, you notice. Every time you dress with care, every time you fix your posture, you tell your brain, "I'm worth maintaining." And that message rewires your identity. Look, I get it. You're tired. You're busy. You don't feel like it. But that's exactly why this matters. Because when you don't feel like showing up and still do, that's when the shift happens. And here's the kicker. This isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. Find a style that feels like you. Not what trends demand, what reflects your inner fire. Is it sharp, minimalist, casual, military grade? Doesn't matter. As long as it commands you to stand taller. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Apply it here. Stop wondering how a strong, focused, disciplined version of you would look. Be that version now. That haircut you've delayed, book it. That wrinkled shirt you keep wearing like a badge of burnout, burn it. That slouched posture, fix it. Shoulders back, chest open, head high. Even if you don't feel confident, yet your body will start believing it. Perception is power, and it starts in the mirror. So tomorrow, before you walk out that door, ask yourself, does this version of me deserve to lead, to conquer, to be remembered? And if the answer is nothing, change it. You're not dressing for fashion. You're dressing for war. You think smiling is weakness? Try it in the middle of a storm. Try it when everything's breaking. Try it when life slaps you and dares you to collapse, and then smile anyway. That's not fake. That's dominance. The Stoics never said life would be calm. They said you should be. And the smile? It's not decoration. It's defiance. When Marcus Aurelius faced plague, betrayal, and death, he didn't write about giving up. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A smile is proof you've realized it. Because here's the science and the philosophy. When you smile, even without feeling joy, your brain releases dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. It's not a mood response. It's a mood command. You're not faking it. You're training it. Just like lifting a weight, except the muscle is your mindset. Let me guess. You think it's silly? You'd rather wear your frustration like a badge of realness. Congratulations, you're just letting pain win. The strong don't smile because life is good. They smile because they've decided to stay in control. You walk into a room frowning, tense, clenched. What happens? You infect it. You become gravity, a black hole. But walk in with quiet composure and a subtle, deliberate smile. You shift the entire emotional temperature. It's not about pretending. It's about choosing your frame. And don't underestimate its echo. Smile at a stranger, they soften. Smile on a phone call, they hear it. Smile at yourself in the mirror before a brutal day and you remind your mind, I'm still here. I'm still standing. This is micro-discipline. And like all Stoic tools, it's small, simple and undefeated. So here's your practice. Start your day with one real, deliberate smile, even if everything hurts. Especially if everything hurts. Do it in the mirror. Do it in traffic. Do it when the tension rises and the easy option is to collapse. That smile, it's not submission. It's resistance. It's proof that your inner world bows to no external chaos. Because when the world sees you smile in adversity, they don't think you're naive. They wonder what kind of monster doesn't flinch when the bombs drop. Be that monster. Let's get this straight. Being kind does not mean being weak. Being kind without boundaries? That's suicide in slow motion. You think you're being noble by always saying yes? By absorbing everyone's chaos? By letting people talk over you, lean on you, bleed you? That's not virtue. That's voluntary slavery. The Stoics weren't doormats. They were walls. Calm, composed, but unmovable. Epictetus taught, you don't control events, only how you respond. So why do you let people own your energy, your time, your peace? You're allowed to say no, without guilt, without explanation, because your soul is not public property. Every time you say yes to things that drain you, you say no to the mission you're actually here to fulfill. Read that again. Kindness is not unlimited access. Kindness is strength wrapped in civility. And boundaries? They're the armor that keeps your kindness from becoming casualty. Think of your attention as currency. Would you hand out $100 bills to strangers who only spit on it? No. So stop doing it with your time, your focus, your presence. Set limits. Not later, not when it's convenient. Now. Start with the takers, the ones who always ask but never give. The ones who guilt you, gaslight you, grind your gears into dust. You don't have to fight them. Just step back. Withdraw the power source. You. No need to shout. No need to justify. Calm clarity is louder than any outburst. I'm not available for that. This doesn't work for me. That's all it takes. And when the guilt rises, remind yourself, you're not betraying anyone. You're protecting everyone, looting the best version of you. Because when your boundaries are clear, your impact gets sharper. Your energy stays charged. Your life stops leaking out to every unworthy request. And people will respect you more. Maybe not instantly, but inevitably. Here's your mission. Identify one person, one habit, or one situation that drains you, and draw the line. Today, don't wait for a breaking point. Be the one who breaks patterns, not themselves. Remember, a Stoic isn't someone who says yes to everything. It's someone who says yes to what matters and guards it like their life depends on it. Because it does. Panic is primitive. Calm is practiced. When the pressure hits, most people lose their minds. You've seen it: raised voices, clenched fists, frantic scrolling, rash decisions. They say, I'm just stressed. No, they're just untrained. Stoicism doesn't teach you to avoid chaos. It teaches you to walk into it without flinching. Marcus Aurelius led during plagues, wars, betrayal, yet wrote with serenity. Not because he was numb, because he refused to let the external world dictate his internal kingdom. You want to be strong? Here's the truth. Strength isn't loud. It's the man who breathes slow when everything screams at him to rush. It's the woman who hears the insult and chooses silence, because she's afraid, but because she's in command. You think losing your mind makes things better? It never has. It never will. The Stoic response? Breathe. Pause. Zoom out. That's not passivity. That's precision. Try it. Next time your phone blows up, your boss flips, your kid screams, your plans collapse. Do nothing for 5 seconds. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. That breath, it's not weakness, it's weaponry. Because when you keep your cool, your brain stays online. Logic lives, decisions sharpen, you lead. Frantic minds make frantic moves. Calm minds cut through fog. Want another tactic? Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Most of what rattles you now won't even matter in 5 days. This is perspective control, and it separates warriors from reactors. Chaos isn't the enemy. Reaction is. Your power lies in what you choose not to do. You can't control the market, the traffic, the news, or other people's madness. But you can control the gap between trigger and response. And in that gap, you reclaim your sovereignty. People will notice. They'll wonder how you stay composed while they collapse. Let them wonder. Because calm is magnetic. It draws respect. It leads silently. It's a statement. I don't chase control, I am control. So when the storm comes, and it always does, don't raise your voice. Don't swing wildly. Don't cave. Stand still. Breathe. Think. Be the eye of the hurricane. While others are swept away, you stay centered. That's Stoicism in motion. That's what makes you unshakable. If you don't choose your direction, someone else will. And they won't choose it for your good. They'll choose what keeps you useful to them. Let that sink in. Most people are drifting. Not because they're lazy. Because they've never asked, where the hell am I going? They wake up, survive the day, crash, repeat. A routine of numb obedience. The Stoics? They didn't wander. They charted. With values, with clarity, with ruthless intent. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you seek tranquility, do less, or more accurately, do what's essential. How do you know what's essential? By knowing your damn compass. Your course isn't your job title. It's not your bank balance. It's your values. Freedom, discipline, legacy, integrity, growth, loyalty. Not buzzwords, not Instagram mantras, but the things you die for, or live poorly without. When your course isn't clear, you chase distractions. You compare. You overcommit. You say yes to nonsense and no to your soul. You're not tired because you work too hard. You're tired because you work for things that don't mean a damn thing to you. Want to break that cycle? Grab a pen. Ask, what moments made me feel most alive? What patterns always bring me peace or fire? The answers aren't random. They're your map. From there, build a vision. Not a fantasy. A direction. 5 years, 10 years. Not as a wish but a war plan. Where are you leading your life? And if the answer is, I don't know, then that's your emergency. Stop living like a leaf in the wind. Be the wind. Set goals that match your values, not what impresses strangers. Forget society's scoreboard. You're not here to win their game. Success isn't owning what they admire. It's building what you respect. But fair warning, your course will demand sacrifice. It will force you to disappoint people, to make hard choices, to say no to short-term hits for long-term fire. Good, that's how you know it's yours. And yes, your course will evolve. New insights, new battles, that's life. But you can adjust sails without losing your destination. Here's the challenge. Today, write down 3 values you refuse to betray. Then write 1 goal that honors all 3. If your actions don't serve that goal, cut them. This isn't about control. It's about direction. And when you set your course, distraction becomes noise. Doubt becomes fuel. And your life finally becomes yours again. If you don't stand for something, you'll kneel for everything. And let's be honest, most people are already on their knees, begging for approval, begging to fit in, begging to not be seen as different. But the Stoic path was never about comfort. It was about conviction. When the crowd bends, the Stoic holds. When the mob screams, the Stoic listens to his own reason. When the world flips its values every week, the Stoic doesn't flinch. You think that kind of strength is popular? Think again. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Not because you are, but because you won't play their game. You won't laugh at things you don't respect. You won't stay silent when truth is twisted. You won't compromise your values for temporary applause. And guess what? That will cost you. You'll lose fake friends. You'll get side-eyed in boardrooms. You'll be called intense, difficult, stubborn. Let them talk. That noise is proof you're on the edge of freedom. Because standing firm isn't about noise. It's about presence. You walk into a room and don't shrink. You speak calmly, clearly, and only when it matters. You don't react to every jab. You don't explain yourself to the shallow. Your values are not negotiable. Not for popularity. Not for profit. Not for peacekeeping. And here's the paradox. The more you stand firm, the more respect you earn, even from those who disagree. Because people may mock your stance, but deep down they envy it. Why? Because conviction is rare. And rare is always respected. So how do you make your stand? Step 1. Know your non-negotiables. What lines will you never cross? What behaviors do you refuse to tolerate? What truth will you die on? Step 2. Live it daily. Not in speeches. In choices. In silence. In sacrifice. Integrity isn't declared, it's demonstrated. You either are who you say you are, or you're not. And step 3. Stop apologizing. For having standards. For not drinking the Kool-Aid. For walking your own line. You want to level up in life? Then stop shape-shifting. Because at the end of this war, the only question that will matter is this. Did you stand firm? Or did you sell out? Make your stand, even if you stand alone. You want to know what separates those who survive hardship from those who collapse under it? Wit. Not sarcasm. Not clownish jokes. But razor-sharp perspective that laughs not because things are easy, but because you refuse to let heaviness win. The Stoics were warriors of the mind, yes. But they weren't robots. They understood something deeper. When you lose your sense of humor, you lose your sense of power. Seneca once said, "He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at." That's not self-deprecation. That's detachment. The ability to look at your mistakes, your ego, your missteps and smirk, not shatter. You think being serious all the time makes you disciplined. It doesn't. It makes you brittle. It makes you snap under pressure. Wit is flexibility. It's the mental jujitsu that flips tension on its head. It's the choice to stay light even when life throws weight. And no, that doesn't mean joke about everything. Wit isn't noise, it's timing. It's the well-placed grin when others panic. The raised eyebrow when absurdity knocks. The silent chuckle when you realize life's chaos has no plan and you're still standing. Here's the truth. Humor is a pressure valve. Ignore it, and the internal build-up will explode, usually at the worst time. But when you train yourself to notice the ridiculous, the ironic, the small glitch in the grand drama, you become untouchable. You get stuck in traffic? Laugh at the absurdity of one red light ruining your day. You spill coffee on your shirt before a meeting? Grin. Why? Because you're not defined by stains, by delays, by chaos. You're bigger than that. Wit is also connection. It disarms enemies. It bonds allies. It says, I've been through hell, but I've still got jokes. And that's power. You want to nurture your wit? Do this. Start observing. Look for irony. Keep a humor log of small things that annoyed you, but now feel stupid in hindsight. Reframe them. Turn them into training reps for your resilience. Because if you can laugh at it, you can outlast it. And most importantly, learn to laugh at yourself. Not with shame, with sovereignty. Nothing crushes the ego faster. Nothing lifts the spirit higher. In a world choking on outrage and fragility, your sense of humor isn't just refreshing, it's revolutionary. So stay sharp, stay light, stay deadly. Wit is your quiet rebellion, and the enemy never expects it. You think respect is earned? Maybe. But here's the Stoic twist. How you treat others is never about them. It's always about you. Read that again. Disrespect is a leak in your discipline. An emotional outburst wearing the mask of superiority. And in the end, it reveals more about your weakness than their worth. The Stoics didn't walk around bowing to everyone, but they mastered this truth. Every human being you meet is a test, a mirror, an opportunity to sharpen your own character. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He wasn't whining. He was preparing. Because if you expect chaos, you don't get rattled by it. Respect starts with restraint. Someone cuts you off? Don't chase, don't curse. Dominate the moment by doing nothing. Someone mocks you? Let them. Their behavior is their burden. Your response? That's your resume. Being respectful isn't weakness. It's precision. It's holding the line when others unravel. It's speaking with clarity when others scream. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to like them. Hell, you don't even have to engage. But you control you, and that means no cheap shots, no eye rolls, no condescension. Why? Because every time you lower yourself, you validate their chaos. You let them drag you into the mud and call it a debate. Respect is not surrender. It's strategy. It says, I see your nonsense, and I rise above it. It also builds leverage. People may forget your words, but they remember your presence. How you carried yourself when things got ugly. How you didn't flinch. How you made them feel seen, even when they didn't deserve it. That's power, and that power compounds. Want to lead? Start listening. Want influence? Show restraint. Want long-term trust? Be the one who never trades values for reactions. Respect shows up in silence, in patience, in small choices. Holding the door. Saying thank you. Not interrupting. Not assuming. Simple things. Rare things. So here's your move. Today, find one interaction where your first instinct is to judge, and don't. Just observe. Respond slowly. Speak like someone who doesn't need to win because they've already won inside. That's what Stoic strength looks like. Not louder, not harsher. Cleaner. Give respect freely. Not because they earned it, but because you refuse to stoop. If you don't define your limits, the world will define them for you. And trust me, they won't be in your favor. Without boundaries, you become a dumping ground. For other people's priorities. For their demands. For their dysfunction. You weren't built to be a bottomless well. You were built to be precise. The Stoics weren't warm and fuzzy with their energy. They were exacting, purposeful, ruthless in where they invested their time and attention. You? You say yes too often. You explain too much. You allow too many exceptions. And every one of those compromises chips away at your identity. Here's the truth. Parameters aren't walls. They're filters that keep your mission clear and your mind clean. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, you're saying no to the life you're trying to build. You're not being nice. You're being negligent with yourself. Want clarity? Define what you don't tolerate. Then enforce it, quietly, consistently, without apology. This isn't about being cold. It's about being congruent. You check your emails after midnight? Why? You're not a machine. You let your friend vent their chaos for an hour every week with no growth, no change, no respect for your time. Why? You're not a therapist on call. You let work bleed into weekends. Let clients cross your tone limits. Let your energy leak into everything except your priorities. That's not noble. That's a slow self-erasure. The Stoics knew peace didn't come from silence. It came from structure. Parameters are that structure. Here's how you build them. Step 1. Identify your non-negotiables. No work after 7 p.m. No calls from people who only take. No social media before sunrise. Whatever breaks your flow, cut it, cap it, or contain it. Step 2. Communicate them once, clearly. No over-explaining. No emotional bargaining. Just the boundary. Step 3. Defend with consistency. Because inconsistency is what teaches others you're not serious. And once they learn that, it's over. You'll be tested. Guilt-tripped. Called selfish. Let them talk. Every time you hold the line, you reinforce to your mind, my life is my territory, and I protect it like it matters because it does. So ask yourself, where in your life are you leaking power through blurred lines? Where are you exhausted not because you're doing too much, but because you're allowing too much? Draw the line. Not with anger, with conviction. Because if you want to level up, you can't live without rules. You need laws, personal, sacred, unshakable. That's how empires are built, starting from within. You can't build a disciplined life while hosting chaos. Let that sit. You're trying to level up while swimming in garbage. Toxic people, mindless habits, draining conversations, cluttered rooms, polluted feeds, and worst of all, your own voice whispering, this is normal. It's not. Its corrosion's low, silent, fatal. The Stoics understood. You can't control the world, but you damn sure can control what you allow into your space. Your mind is a fortress. Every open gate is an invitation for decay. You think doom scrolling doesn't affect you? Check your focus. Check your mood. Check your sleep. Then tell me you're not infected. You think hanging around people who mock your discipline isn't a big deal. You become what surrounds you. Energy is contagious, and you're the host. So here's the move. Cut. Not with drama. With decision. That friend who drains you? Step back. That habit that leaves you numb? Replace it. That environment that clutters your head? Clean it. That thought that tells you you can't? Bury it. This is spiritual hygiene. You don't need perfection. You need standards. Your home should feel like a weapon chamber for your mind. Your relationships should feel like reinforcements, not liabilities. Your thoughts should feel like commands, not attacks. And yes, cutting out negativity will feel lonely at first, because most of what you cut was familiar. But familiarity doesn't equal value. You're not here to babysit old patterns. You're here to evolve. And when you do, your energy rises, your path clears, And the version of you who's been buried under distractions finally breathes. So pause. Look at your life like a battlefield. Where is the enemy hiding? In your phone? In your fridge? In your inbox? In your own head? Find it. Face it. Cut it. You've come this far. 10 strikes against mediocrity. Don't let the 11th slip past like background noise. Finish what you started. And when you're done, look in the mirror. You won't just see a calmer face. You'll see a warrior who chose precision over noise, conviction over convenience, clarity over chaos. That's what Stoicism looks like when it's lived. Now ask yourself, which of these 11 strikes will you swing first? Leave a comment below and declare it. Not for likes, but as your first public act of discipline. Because this isn't a video. This was your warning and your awakening.